The Dia de los Muertos Festival is back this weekend.
Nearly 100 altars will fill Hemisphere Park Saturday and Sunday, and the best part of this, it is all free to the public.
Free?
Yeah.
San Antonio loves free. I love free. Live music acts, a processional are also part of the weekend's agenda, but Muertos Fest organizers tell our Sarah Acosta this weekend is about much more than just a few days of fun.
We started very small there. We had, I think, 30 altars, about 2 stages, and about 3,000 people for that first weekend.
When Jim Mendiola and his partner first brought the Dia de los Muertos Festival to San Antonio, it was a small celebration. 11 years later, it has grown into San Antonio's biggest Day of the Dead festival that takes over Hemisphere downtown.
Now we're at 135,000 people over 2 days, and we're up to this year about 88 altars.
The 2-day free event is open to the public that celebrates tradition, art, and culture, with over 50 live performances on stage, a procession each day, and over 80 Day of the Dead altars. The altars are built by local artists and organizations celebrating their deceased loved ones.
The way we do it, where we ask the community to create altars, it's very specific to San Antonio. So what happens is it's sort of a yearbook of what's happened the past year, either locally, nationally, and people respond to it. It's a universal response to sort of remember what's happened in the past, your ancestors.
Mendiola says everyone experiences grief, loss, and remembrance, and it's seen in all these altars. However, coming together to remember our loved ones as a community helps us celebrate their lives and legacies.
I think what people walk away with is a mutual celebration of life.
So come celebrate Muertos Fest, October 28th and 29th at Hemisphere. And you can watch KSAT's broadcast of the event right here on KSAT12 and all our streaming platforms on November 1st from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT12 News.
So mark your calendars this weekend, the 28th and 29th. If you can't make it, though, KSAT will bring you the best parts of the celebration right here on KSAT. That happens November 1st. At 8 p.m.
To national news now, and as the Detroit Jewish community continues to mourn the tragic killing of a synagogue president, police leading that investigation say there is no indication of anti-Semitism as a motive in that case. 40-year-old Samantha Wall found stabbed to death in her home over the weekend. She had led the downtown Detroit synagogue since 2022. Before that, she made a career in Michigan politics, working with a number of state and national leaders, including Democratic Representative Alyssa Slotkin. The FBI assisting Detroit police in the investigation. They have confirmed several witnesses have already been interviewed.
A pilot is accused of trying to shut off a plane's engine mid-flight, and now he's facing more than 80 charges of attempted murder. Joseph Emerson was taken into custody after that plane made an emergency landing in Portland overnight. He wasn't flying the plane, but he was sitting in the cockpit as an off-duty pilot. Investigators say Emerson tried to pull the engine fire extinguisher handles. The flight crew was able to subdue him and cuff him to a seat. The Federal Aviation Administration now investigating what led up to Emerson's alleged attempt to down that plane.
The Illinois mother that survived what police are calling an anti-Muslim attack last week is out of the hospital. Hanan Shahi and her son Wadea were attacked inside their home by their landlord last week. Her son didn't survive, and now 71-year-old Joseph Zuba is facing several charges in this attack, including murder. Investigators say that attack sparked by the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. Meanwhile, Zuba, being held in jail without bond, is due back in court later this week. 9 Republican lawmakers making their case behind closed doors to be the next Speaker of the House for 3 weeks. The House has sat stagnant due to Republican infighting. Not one nominee has had the majority of votes to win the gavel. ABC's M. Wynn reports the party aims to have a new nominee by tomorrow. But will that candidate be able to secure the votes required to become Speaker?
The stage is set for tonight's Republican candidate forum to find a new nominee for House Speaker.
We need, obviously, a speaker, but we need a speaker that is, frankly, doing it for the right reasons.
Of the 9 contenders who have declared interest in the top job, only 2 voted to certify President Biden's 2020 election victory, including House Majority Whip Tom Emmer, who's been endorsed by ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
This is not a moment in time to play around with learning on the job. We need someone who understands how to do this job.
But that's also the reason some of Donald Trump's congressional allies might oppose him. Because Republicans are so divided, it's unclear if Emmer or any nominee can win enough support.
You have this small faction of the far right who, with a small majority, feel overpowered, overblown sense of power.
On Friday, House Republicans voted against Ohio Representative Jim Jordan as the nominee in a secret ballot after he failed 3 times to get the 217 votes needed to become Speaker. Today, the House Freedom Caucus sending a statement demanding the chamber stay in session until a new Speaker is elected. For now, no legislative business can be conducted, including President Biden's requested $100 billion foreign aid package for Israel and Ukraine, and no spending bills can be considered even as the mid-November government shutdown deadline looms.
This is probably one of the most embarrassing things I've seen, because if we don't have a Speaker of the House, we can't govern.
Tonight, the candidate forum is expected to take several hours. Tomorrow, House Republicans plan to hold a secret ballot vote to secure a new nominee. A floor vote could come the same day. M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
Most women know a lump could indicate breast cancer, but there are a few more ways to detect the disease that could be the difference between life and death. We'll tell you about them next. Most women in the U.S. recognize a lump as a potential warning sign of breast cancer.
But less than half can identify most of the other red flags associated with the disease. That's according to a survey commissioned by the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center.
Mandy Gaither shows us 5 inflammatory breast cancer signs that you might not know about.
It's rare but aggressive, and early detection of inflammatory breast cancer could mean the difference between life and death.
By the time we catch an inflammatory breast cancer, 1/3 of patients will already have metastatic disease, meaning that the cancer has spread outside of the breast and lymph node areas.
Because of that, survival rates are generally not as high for inflammatory breast cancer as they are for other types of the disease. This form of cancer doesn't often start with a lump and may not show up on a mammogram, according to the American Cancer Society. There are 5 different signs and symptoms to watch out for: an orange peel-like texture or dimpling of the skin, feeling of heaviness, tightening of the skin, engorgement of the breast, and an infection-like redness or swelling.
Many physicians don't even think of it as breast cancer signs or symptoms, and patients will often get multiple rounds of antibiotics before they ever get to a breast biopsy.
Dr. Sachin Gerard with Ohio State's Comprehensive Cancer Center says if you notice any of the signs, to see a doctor who's aware of this form of the disease immediately.
So the patient can get appropriate workup with imaging and biopsy. That's the most important thing.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The American Cancer Society says inflammatory breast cancer tends to happen in women younger than 40. It appears to develop more often in black women than white women and is more common among women who are overweight or obese.
Take a live look outside right now, and you're going to want to see the Halloween forecast. It's already caused some exasperation on the set here.
Well, you have a plan for the costumes.
Yes.
And now you're going to need those costumes to be a little bit warmer, perhaps.
We'll have Myra demonstrate what happened when she was off camera. And I was saying, prepare for the colder temperatures.
I didn't know if you could see that or not. It was
the corner of my eye.
It was a tinge dramatic, but yes.
I don't miss much, Steve.
I know, you're everywhere.
Hey, 74 today, 83 the high temperature. It's going to be very repetitive this week. We had some 70s in the hill country for highs. The rest of us, I should say, in the 80s. This evening, temperatures slowly falling through the 70s, and we'll be in the lower 70s tomorrow morning. More rain chances. That Halloween forecast, where most of the rain fell today and how much more we could see in just a bit.
Here's your 60-second recap. San Antonio teenager Eric Cantu Jr. accused of evading arrest twice in the span of a week last month. San Antonio police now say he ran from police on September 2nd and the 8th. He was out on bond in relation to an unrelated theft charge. The teen survived being shot multiple times by a San Antonio police officer in a McDonald's parking lot about a year ago.
A man accused in the death of a 5-year-old girl last year is now headed to trial. 5-year-old Mercedes Lasoya's mother was charged in the girl's death and took a plea deal in exchange for testimony against her boyfriend, Jose Ruiz. Jury selection for Ruiz's case will start December 12th. He could spend the rest of his life behind bars if found guilty.
The San Antonio fire officials still trying to figure out what sparked a Sunday night fire that damaged several businesses, a tire shop, auto shop, printing company, and granite store all damaged. No one hurt. A dog was actually rescued. Damage is estimated to be at more than $300,000. And that's your 60-second recap.
Okay, when it comes to the weather, a lot of time between now and then when it comes to Halloween, but early heads up if you're making costumes, buying costumes.
Yeah, or heads down on the desk.
Or
what was
down,
it?
kind of like this.
Yeah, earlier.
That was mild. That was a mild reenactment,
Yeah,
by the way. I just want to let you know it didn't have the drama. You know.
You had to catch it the first time.
Luckily,
you two did.
As I turned the corner, I just saw, and I know because you're planning, my wife's been planning, and we're planning with another family for our daughters, and there's a lot that goes into it.
Yes, you got to get all the things.
Yes, and just right, and we know here it can go either way. It can be really warm or actually pretty chilly. Now, let's take a look at our preliminary Halloween headlines. And again, it's early. Timing's likely to change on some of this, but it's likely now. Odds favor that we're going to have a stronger cold front, and it's going to be much cooler around Halloween. We could be talking highs in the 50s that day. So if I were you, and what I'm telling my wife, let's put it this way, is prepare for the warmer costume option. We're ordering a shirt. I said, get the long sleeve one, the thickest one, opposed to a short sleeve. That, I think, is the safer option as of now. Rain, yes, it could happen, and it's likely to happen around the front, but it's too early to tell if it's going to actually affect the trick-or-treating time frame, that window a week from Tuesday. I do think a lot of it could move on out by that point. So that's just another aspect we'll have to keep you updated on. And we do have an article that we're frequently updating on KSAT12 with all this information. But mid-80s the rest of this week, ho-hum weather, as I like to call it, just repetitive. And then look at Tuesday. We could be down to 58 for the high, potentially even cooler than that. Too early to tell. We have to start tracking that cold front as it moves southward and see what kind of a history it has for temperature drops. Speaking of temperature drops, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, 28 degrees. That's my favorite town. I love saying that. That's that cooler air. It's plunging southward, and it's, again, likely to arrive a little before Halloween. It's going to be a slow progression. Check back in. We'll be updating the details, fine-tuning it, and just showing you the progression of that cool air as we go through the week. You look at October as a whole, and we're 1.6 degrees above average. Now, speaking of extremes and how it can go either way in October and Halloween, the warmest day so far was 97. That was the warmest temperature this month, and the coolest was 47. That's a big temperature spread. A lot of clouds out there this afternoon. Some breaks, though, in the clouds. This is going to be a very familiar sight. A lot of gray, looking like it could rain. Only a trace at the airport today. That's all we picked up. Tomorrow, a 30% chance throughout the entire day. I think another damp morning with some fog and mist, 72, then 84 and a few peaks of sun by the afternoon. Most promising rain chances are Wednesday night, and Thursday, and we could see over an inch in some parts of our area at that point.
Okay, costume makers have been warned. We all now know.
Now we do. Sewer gators in the buzz coming up.
What?
All right, what's your favorite? CandyStore.com released a report based on bulk candy sales to find out the favorite Halloween candy in each state. Texas's results are as follows. Sour Patch Kids, Reese's Cups, and Starburst round out the top three.
Okay. The most popular candy across the U.S. this year was Reese's Cups and candy corn. It's making a comeback. That controversial candy landed in the national top 10 and is Utah's favorite candy.
I like candy corn, I know.
How about the mini Butterfingers for me? New York City unveiled a new life-size sculpture of a gator wrapped around a manhole cover, paying homage to one of the city's oldest myths, alligators lurking beneath the streets in the Big Apple's sewer system.
Have you ever heard about this?
I have heard about
Yeah, the rumor started almost 100 years ago when the New York Times reported that some children had beaten an alligator to death after finding one in a sewer.
Oof.
Just a reminder, the cold-blooded reptiles are not built for the big city. They are found in southeastern U.S.
That is not the origin
I didn't know
story
about
that
sewer
I
gators in New York. I
expected.
didn't know about instigators
Yes,
in New
you do.
York. Yeah.
Ground beef. More than half a dozen bovines were wandering a Charlotte, North Carolina highway last week after they somehow got out of their trailer.
Yeah, it was an utter surprise for a few people that caught it on camera. Right now, it's still unclear how that trailer broke open, but we do know every driver steered clear of the cows, and they were eventually all rounded up. No drivers wanted to be part of the herd.
Oh, gosh. One more for the road. We'll be right back.
We had some dampness around San Antonio, but most of the actual real rain, noticeable rain, fell east of town, especially a big streak, roughly from Seguin and I-10, just east of Seguin, southward down toward Yorktown. That's where we actually had accumulations of over ½ inch to even around an inch in that green streak. Now, we'll continue to have some isolated showers tonight and periodically again tomorrow, just like what we had today. But our most promising chances are actually Wednesday night, and Thursday.
All right. Thanks, Adam. And thank you for watching the news at 6.
We'll see you on the Night Beat after Monday Night Football.